2 days after 76ers coach Brett Brown told the Philadelphia Inquirer that Joel Embiid's minutes, for at least the early part of the season, would likely be limited to somewhere in the teens. The prized Philadelphia big man promptly logged just under 27 minutes in a 120-115 season-opening loss to the Wizards on Wednesday. We probably shouldn't be surprised by Embiid's uptick in playing time. For starters, it's not like he played 35 minutes. The 27 minutes is barely over the 25-minute goal they had for Embiid during his 31-game stint last year. Besides that, Brown didn't sound all that committed to the minutes restriction in the first place, perhaps especially after Embiid told reporters that the idea of his playing time being capped was bull. This is the most telling part of this whole thing. Brown, understandably, is likely running thin on patience after enduring an unprecedented stretch of losing in an effort to put together the kind of team that can legitimately compete. Well, this team can compete. We saw that Wednesday night, when the Sixers gave a good Wizards team everything it could handle on the road. Honestly, this would have been more of a story had Brown kept Embiid on the bench to finish the game. Had he done that, in a close game, it would have been a clear statement that the Sixers, for all the expectations people want to place on them this year, were still prioritizing patience over winning. Instead, Brown brought Embiid back for the final 5 minutes. He tried to win the game. And it almost happened. On consecutive possessions down the stretch, Philly turned it over with a chance to tie or take the lead. On both occasions, they missed a wide-open scorer. First Ben Simmons ran free in the open floor, then Jared Bayless spotted up for a corner 3 ball. This is why Embiid, and all of Philly's young guys, need to be in these types of games and situations. How else do you learn how to win? After all, there's a difference between making plays and staying composed in the first 3 quarters and doing it in crunch time. Overall, Embiid was predictably great in his first 22 minutes, but down the stretch neither he nor Simmons were able to provide that consistent source of offense Philly needed as it tried to keep pace with what John Wall was doing for the Wizards, which, pretty simply, was creating plays for himself and others every time down the court. That's what great players do. And Embiid clearly has a chance to be that kind of force. He posted 18 points and 13 boards in his 27 minutes Wednesday. But again, little things are the difference between good numbers and winning. And the only way you figure those little things out is by playing. It's not to say this is an easy decision to just put Embiid out there and let the chips fall where they may. There is plenty of data to support the heightened likelihood of injury that comes with a heavier workload. This is true even for players who don't have Embiid's injury history. It's a very fine line. With young pitchers, baseball teams ask themselves this question all the time as it pertains to innings restrictions. Ask Washington Nationals fans about 2012, when the team shut down Steven Strasburg for the entire postseason, prioritizing their young ace's health over winning. If there's anything more frustrating than losing, it's not trying to win. Something Sixers fans already know plenty about. Keep in mind, the Sixers just gave Embiid a $148 million extension. You can understand not wanting to risk that kind of investment. It begs the question, if not now, when? At a certain point, you have to let a horse run. Embiid has sat out 2 full NBA seasons. He played just 31 games last year. The kid is finally healthy, and he wants to play. Moreover, he needs to play. If Embiid, Simmons and Markelle Fultz are going to turn their great potential into actual winning production, they need as much time playing together as they can get. They need to start to feel where one another is on the court, where they like the ball, how to communicate on defense. Pretty simply, they're the future. And for the Sixers, for the first time in a long time, the future feels like it has arrived. Let's see if it's really what it's been cracked up to be.